Hello and welcome to World Talks on TVP World with me, Ashim Kumar. Poland is set to receive 44 billion euros from the European Union's SAFE programme, a low-interest loan scheme designed to help member states invest in defence capabilities. Prime Minister Donald Tusk said the funds will support drones, AI projects, border security and the SAFE Baltic programme, strengthening Poland's military and protecting critical infrastructure from potential sabotage linked to Russian intelligence. The country is also moving forward with the purchase of Swedish A-26 submarines, enhancing its naval presence in the Baltic Sea. Today we're joined by Paweł Wojciechowski. He's a former Polish finance minister and a regular contributor. Welcome, sir, back to TVP World.
Nice to be here, thank you.
Great. So tell us a little bit about the SAFE programme. How was it set up and what was Poland's role in establishing it?
Well, this is amazing. You know, this is I would say the fastest defense program in the EU history. It was actually mastermind during the Polish presidency. Starting from January until May, there was negotiations.
It's not even the end of the year, and already it's up and running.
Yeah, it's amazing, you know. But everybody talking about that Europe is so slow, but it comes to the threats and security and rearmament and building up, potentially defense industry. Of course, it takes years, but you have to start from something. You create a demand. So it's all about creating a joint procurement, looking for so-called local content. 65% of the local content must be European, so it's pretty much a buy European.
Okay.
Of course, it has to come from one or at least minimum two countries, but in the first phase, that could come from one country and one supplier. So we are just about in the process with so-called allocation, the commitment, and Poland is supposed to get, in loans as a government a loan of 43.7 billion euro, which is far the largest one. The CE countries would get 100 billion euro out of 150 billion euro. So 2/3 will go to CE countries, which is mainly because they have higher cover cost of borrowing of sovereign debt,
right,
like Poland, and they like to think about as a common European project.
Okay, so the cost of borrowing is higher in Central Eastern Europe, so they'll be getting the benefit of low-cost loans from SAFE. That's one of the criteria, but there are others, aren't there? I mean, they're on the front line.
Yeah, well, frontline countries should be more kind of eager to get this type of loan facility, which is much cheaper. At the same time, it's intertwined with, European industry, because if you think about the industry, defense industry is very fragmented today. And the whole idea is to kind of pull together the demand by joint procurement, maybe from one or two suppliers in the supply chain, the European supply chain, European local content, and get less of fragmentation, more integration, more interoperability of the equipment, and create, the scale that is necessary to lower the unit cost.
Right.
Because of fragmentation of the industry, we're losing about 1 billion euro per year.
Because we're not exploiting economies.
We don't exploit the economies of scale. Of course, we could buy from the shelf from the US, or Koreans, and we did it in the past. But of course, we are, having the over-dependency that of course may be costly in case something happens, and question about reliability and all the guarantees, how they are sure for the future. It's all questions.
Yeah, I mean, there are a number of interesting issues here. I mean, for example, most European countries are members of NATO. And one would have thought that questions of interoperability and having a robust defence industry in Europe would be an obvious choice. But clearly, this is showing us that it's only now that the European countries are thinking of this. Does it surprise you?
Well, in NATO you have some rules and regulations and standards that you have to obey, like what type of oil you're going to use in the tank. But of course, in Europe, there is maybe 5 or 6 producers of tanks. So all of them are a little bit different, in a sense. There is, of course, the, sovereign command systems, for communication systems, So the question is how deep you go into this interoperability, it's like in the infrastructure. You need to have one management and security system to run the trains, right? Otherwise, in Europe, you run into delays all the time because it doesn't work efficiently. So for smooth operations, you need interoperability. And of course, this is like pooling the demand, as I said, and providing the supply by joint procurement with a lot of European local content. I think also the important element is, of course, the so-called, sovereignty of technology, not in industry only. So, there's some project that need to be, developed for years. So the idea is to come and get a loan. Then the second point is to get the joint procurement contracts by the end of 2026. And this commitment for allocation may change because there's another principle of this, that Poland, of course, is getting 44 billion euro in commitment, in allocation. Our envelope may change depending how we use it. If you don't use it, then generally it's a principle of use it or lose it.
Right.
If you don't use it, then we lose it.
Well, clearly, I mean, one place in which Poland is using it is in the purchase of submarines from Sweden, a contract to buy 3 submarines, A-26 submarines, which are, cutting-edge technology. What other areas does Poland intend to spend this money on? Well,
generally, it's the things that in the first phase, the things that we are excelling. We have one of the Polish producers, the largest producer of drones in Europe. Okay, and they're producing the warmer drones or fly eyes and equipment. So this is type of thing that we want to do. And so because of the so-called Eastern shield that we want to create, together along the border with the Baltic states, this is a very important element of that. How to have the shield operational. So you have to kind of go into this type of procurement. Although I have to say that in the first phase, the Polish Minister of Defense, Deputy Prime Minister Władysław Kosiniak-Kamysz, said that I think he mentioned that around almost 90% of that would be Polish local content. The thing is with local content is that we have local content based on receipts, on the orders, but the question is what in the supply chain, how the company who got the contracts is going to purchase extra elements.
Is going to source the raw materials.
Raw materials or whatever.
Right.
It's very complex, the supply chain. So I think that the idea is in the future that we should really think about is a local content based on the, domestic value added created by the purchase through procurement of this particular product.
So to control the whole supply chain within Poland or certainly within the region.
So we're talking about, the things that are important in the battlefield today. Artillery, which, munition. I think the munition is, what was being discussed, in the past, in Europe, there was 100,000 of, 155 millimeter
shells.
It's, that we need to produce, 2 million.
Yeah.
a year.
Yeah.
Not only
Yeah.
Poland, but in general in Europe. Okay, so we think about munition. We're talking about artillery munition, and we're talking about radars. You know, of course, radars
Right.
will not come.
And of
Maybe
course,
from Israel as in the past, but maybe will come from other countries which are
and cybersecurity as well is
cybersecurity.
another one.
Very much.
Unfortunately, Mr. Wojciechowski, we have to stop there, but thank you so much for taking the time to join us and sharing your analysis with our audience.
Thank you very much.
Good evening. And that brings us to the end of this episode of World Talks. Goodbye.